Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of PYOW. I'm your yarn host Jennifer. Now if you're new here, you don't know what PYOW is. PR stands for Premier Yarns of the Week. So Premier Yarns is my favorite yarn company of all times. I have been very loyal to them for since the beginning of this channel. My very first video was about Premier Yarns and has been a big part of my channel ever since. I absolutely adore most of the yarns that come out of Premier Yarns. I really like the customer service. I like Premier Yarns. So every Thursday, if you come back for PYOW, I feature a Premier Yarn of the Week. They're not always new. Sometimes they're new yarns, but mostly I just wanted to stash dive. I wanted to show you guys yarns that I have in my stash. Now this one I had to deep dive into my stash to find, because I knew that I bought it and I could not for the life of me remember what box they were in, because if you guys don't know, this is not the entirety of my stash. I also have ceiling boxes. So some of these shelves are 9 feet tall. Well, no, 7 feet tall. The ceilings are 9 foot. So yeah. I had to go bribe Mr. Cinnamon. Mr. Cinnamon was doing yard work. He was cleaning off the back patio. He was spraying it down. He broke his power washer, so he's hand spraying it with the hose. He's a little upset. So I went out there to, butter him up a little bit. I was like, is there a big, tall, strong man out here that I could borrow? And he put the hose, he was like spraying. He stopped the hose and put it down. He's all, well, what do you need? And I was like, I need a box down from a tall shelf. He's all, nope, there's nobody like that out here. There's just an average height fat guy. So I was like, okay, well, I still need a box down. And so he put the hose down. He came in the house and helped me get my box down from the ceiling. And it was the wrong box. So I let him go about his business and I continued to try to reach boxes well over my head. But I found it. I found this week's PYOW. So let's get to the yarn. I know. Stop yammering, woman, and get to the yarn. So this week's yarn is Sweet Roll DK. Now, when this yarn released, the colors were very familiar to a lot of people, and they were comparing this yarn to another well-known DK weight yarn that is on the market. And so I did a side-by-side comparison. I will link that video below so you have more of a detail on what this yarn is like, what it works up like, and all that good stuff. Actually, I don't think I worked any up because I still have all the skeins. I think I just did a side-by-side comparison and feel of the yarn. So I'm going to tell you right now, this yarn is soft. It is a DK weight, so it's a number 3. It's on the thin side. But it's Sweet Roll, so it is the DK version. I better open this. I've had this yarn for a long while. I will tell you about the Sweet Rolls too. Sweet Rolls are the very first cake yarn I ever purchased. These were widely available at AC Moore back in the day, before AC Moore closed and broke all of our hearts. And it is just a cake yarn. It is a 4-weight. It's soft. It's squishy. This makes everything just nice. We're not talking about the Sweet Roll right now. This is the 4-weight version. This is the DK version. Obviously drastically different colors. But, yeah. The Sweet Rolls are my favorite of all of the cake yarns on the market because they're soft, they're squishy, they're easy to work with. I really like the color combinations. It's a self-striping yarn. But the main thing is that it's soft. And you guys know that I have skin problems. And the Sweet Roll is just, it's a really nice yarn. I have made so many baby blankets out of Sweet Roll. It is my favorite yarn to make baby blankets out of. And then when they released the Sweet Roll DK, I don't know, a year or two ago, I was very excited because my favorite yarn is DK. I like worsted because it works up faster. I'm not a big fan of bulky, but I like the DK because, yes, it may work up slower because it's thinner. It takes longer to knit and crochet up. But I just like that it's lighter weight and then it's drapier for the most part. And I live in a humid most of the time hot area, but I am very much from the north. So I am hot all the time. I'm hot all the time. That's why I prefer DK weight, because it's not as heavy on top of my body when I'm working it up. And I have a better chance of wearing something in DK weight as I do wearing something in worsted weight. This poncho that is currently hanging up is made out of Eversoft and the new Dottie yarn from Premier Yarns. And even though the Eversoft is listed as a number 4, it is a thin number 4, and it feels more like a DK weight. So anyway, this is 541 yards. As of the recording of this video, it is $5.99 on Premier's website, which is a really good deal for 541 yards. It is a 4.9 ounce ball, or 140 grams. This is the color Jewel. It's very pretty. This is like, I know it's not showing up on camera as good, but it's like a lilac-y color. And then there's a lighter purple and a darker purple, and then like a aqua, and then green, and then like a navy color. Is absolutely beautiful. Very jewel toned, very vibrant. And then I have this colorway, which is quartz. And depending on how they're wrapped up, they look drastically different from each other. So as you can tell, there's pinks and blues in this. So there's like a rosy color, a light pink, a white, and then that beautiful sky blue. These are both the same colorway. They're both quartz. And actually, I have a third one. I tend to buy cakes in 3s because 3 of these usually makes a pretty good size garment for me. So I usually buy them in 3. So this is all the same colorway, but they all look totally different. So beautiful, beautiful yarns. This yarn is soft and squishy. I really do like the yarn for the sweet rolls. It is, did I say it's 100% acrylic? It's a lightweight number 3, 3.75 knitting needles, 3.75 hook. That is what it recommends. I never ever use a hook that small. I use like a 4, 4.5, sometimes even a 5 on DK weight, because it gives it just a beautiful drapey, like, beautifulness to it. This is machine wash warm, tumble dry. I probably should have my glasses on. I'm straining a little bit today. I'll put my granny glasses on. My sexy librarian glasses. They're reading glasses, so I have to wear them at the bridge of my nose like a crazy person. This has the Okotex Standard 100 seal of approval on there, and it just means that it is not harmful. I always say that. It's not harmful. It is tested and safe against 350 plus harmful substances or ingredients that could give skin irritation to the most sensitive skins. It's another reason why I love the sweet roll yarns. Any of the yarns from Premier that has the Okotex on it, it's so mild on my hands. It doesn't cause irritation. It doesn't dry them out. It doesn't cause any of those problems. So, yeah, I really like the sweet roll DK. When it came out, I was kind of excited. Now, Premier Yarns has other cake yarns that are DK. They have a whole line of the DK colors. They have DK colors. They have DK colors batik. Beautiful yarns. Those are anti-pilling acrylic though. These ones are not anti-pilling acrylic. The anti-pilling just means that it's going to guarantee up to 300 some washes that it's not going to get little fuzz balls on it. And if it gets fuzz balls, they come off in the wash. So I've never had a problem with anything from Premier being super pilly. Well, I've had one, but they don't even make it anymore. Probably why, because it was a fuzzy yarn. I've never had the sweet rolls fuzz up on me. They wash very nice. And like I said, this is machine wash warm and tumble dry. It's not gonna be real fuzzy. And as you can see, it has a really nice, smooth, not real fuzzy. This stuff frogs beautifully. So do you guys want to go down to the table and I'll work up a little sample so you can see what it looks like all. I think we're gonna knit and crochet it today. Give you a good little sample and give you an idea of what the yarn looks like. Let's go to the table. My camera just stopped recording for no reason. Maybe my memory is kind of used up. That does happen quite frequently where I use up all the memory on my camera. It happened the other day. I was filming a Tuesday Tea and Happy Meal video, and I had 45 minutes of footage, and the battery, not the battery, the SD card filled up in the middle of me filming. And I went about my business and I cleared off some of the space on the card and went back to recording, and the footage was gone, all of it. And I ran recovery programs and it is nowhere to be found. So I cried, and then I went about my day and recorded a different video and called it a day. Yeah, so happens to the best of us. I'm doing double crochets now. This yarn is delightful to work up. It is just, it doesn't give me any irritation in my skin. It's not slippery soft. You know how some yarns are just like, they're so soft they're slippery. It's not like that at all. But this is just a nice squish. It's got a nice squish factor to it. And it's not splitting at all on me. It's working up very, very nice. Oh, that's a little bit of weird random white there. I was not expecting. So maybe we will see a color change. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. But now that I'm looking at this one, you see that? There's blue and white touching. So maybe it goes blue, blue, white, blue, maybe? Because this is a lighter blue. There's white, and there's a darker blue. And then it goes back lighter again. I don't know. I have no idea. I've had this yarn for a while. I bought it when it first came out. I have not used it yet. So I don't know exactly how the color works up. So we're finding out together. Oops, that was a half double. I don't know if you guys can hear Little Man. He is singing a TikTok song. It's actually a real song, but he's only heard it on TikTok. I think it's Lizzo. Oh, he's driving me nuts. He's been singing it on repeat for like a week now. And it's already on TikTok so much that I had to tell TikTok to stop sending me that song. And now Little Man is driving me crazy. He's driving me absolutely bonkers. All right, so, oh, that's why. See, there's a break there. I didn't even see the break. That's why the color changed and went back. All right, so we're going to ignore. But I'm going to show you what I mean by if you do single crochets, it makes the color shift less obvious than if you were doing double crochets. So see, you can see that there's obviously a color shift there. When we get to that blue section, I'll show you. In the grand scheme of things, your eye is going to be less drawn to a single crochet break, especially when you stack stitches on top of it, than if we had like a double crochet break. I'll show you what I mean. So see how there's a little break here, but up here the break is like several, it's almost like 2 rows of break. So it really draws your eye to like, oh, there's a hard break there. Whereas here, it's not so evident. So that's what I do when I see a break coming. I look ahead and I'm like, there's a color change coming. And if I'm crocheting something, I do a row of single crochets so that the break is not so obvious. Now, if you're doing corner to corner, that's obviously not going to help you at all. Let's see. It's less obvious. pollen high. The pollen count is really high again. And I am right back to having all of the allergy issues I was having prior. It's not nearly as bad though, because I learned this last time, if I switch my allergy medication, one works better for pollen and the other one works better for every day. So that's what we're doing today. We're probably gonna have to switch up. This yarn just works up so nice. This is a kind of yarn that you could sit with for hours and it's not gonna... See, for me, like, my eczema is acting up again. So I have blisters coming and I have patches of skin peeling off, and no matter how much lotion I apply, so I have to be careful with what yarn I'm using when I'm having an eczema break. And this is one of those yarns that no matter how long I use it, no matter how many hours I sit and crochet or knit, it does not cause me any irritation. So see, the single crochet color break kind of got hidden down there. You can barely see it. That's how you hide a color break. You just do a row of single crochets in there because they want to try to pull to the back when you do double crochet on top of them. So yeah, it's a neat little trick. All right, let's do star stitches because that's my favorite. I just got done making a secret project for an upcoming video, and I did star stitches in it, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Adding a row of star stitches just adds a little extra detail to your project. And it also definitely helps me to test out if the yarn is going to be splitty or difficult, because when you have all of these loops on your hook, you have a much better chance of splitting the yarn. And it doesn't seem to be giving me any problems. Oops, missed. 4 and 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going extra slow for those of you that don't know how to do a star stitch and you have always wanted to try. Without doing a full tutorial on it. Although I do have, I think I have a washcloth pattern somewhere on my channel where I showed how to do the star stitch. I'm almost positive. Oops. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Almost to the end of the star stitches. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on our PYOW videos. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, because I'm enjoying making it. It gives me a chance to really play with yarn, you know. And that's all I'm doing here. I'm just playing with yarn. We'll go back. And when you go to the back of these, the circle that we created, right here, and right there, and right there, you just put 2 single crochet in there. And that creates, and oftentimes I create my star stitches too tight and they try to pull in on each other. quite common with the star stitch, especially when I'm working little samples like this. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to do one more row of half double crochet on top of this, and then we will attach our unknown size knitting needles over there. I just pulled them out of my DPN case. It's easier for me to do these little swatches with DPNs as opposed to circulars, which is what I use most often when I knit. Because my camera is like 2 inches above my hands. And it's hard for me to see what I'm doing sometimes. And it's just easier to use the DPNs. Because they take up less room on the table. I stand by my opinion that this is good yarn. And that this will make beautiful anything you want to make out of it. And if you don't like the DK, the sweet roll is just fine. You just use the regular sweet roll. It is the same thing, except it is a worsted weight version of this yarn. All right, so see how it kind of went in right there. That's because I pulled my stitches too tight. We can always fix that. Watch. Put a double crochet and then a treble. And we just fudged our swatch. And now look, it's even. Ta-da! That's how we roll on cinnamon stitches. We fudge everything. So, actually, I should probably get the tea that stuck to my finger. Chain one first. Give us more room to work with when we turn our work. All right, now I'm just gonna grab some yarn. I'm just gonna cast on some yarn, pick up some stitches. We gotta get back on the camera, Jen. Come on, man, get with it. Picking up stitches. It's better than picking up other words that rhyme with stitches. Oh, I'm in a silly mood today, guys. Oh, the weather is nice. It is feeling like summer out. Got my Mother's Day ring, or my mother's ring back. My mother's ring has been missing off of my hand for well over a year now. Probably close to 2 years. I lost Jujus stone. And that stone is not easy to replace. So it had to go on special order, and my ring's been at the jeweler for weeks now. But it's been off my hand for, like I said, well over a year. Mr. Cinnamon took it in for Mother's Day, and it was not anywhere near ready by Mother's Day. So it's been at the jeweler for a while now, and I just got it back today, and it feels so good to have it back in my hand. Because those of you who don't know and you haven't been around, I have many, many years of infertility, and little man was an absolute miracle. So going from 1 child to 2 children and getting that mother's ring was a very, very big deal to me. So you guys will be seeing that, because that don't come off my hand. Ever. I was glad it still fit too, because, you know, I put on a little bit of weight in the last year. Well, the last couple years. But I also have a lot more swelling in my hands from arthritic issues. I'm just doing garter stitch right now. So I'm just knitting both ways. Knit, knit, knit all the rows. I prefer garter stitch and knit to with the way it feels, the way it works up when it feels. It's very squishy and soft and like nice. But a lot of people prefer knit stitch in knitting, just because it looks like what you think of when it comes to knitting. And I agree, like knitting, the knit stitch looks, well, it's called stockinette. Stockinette looks much prettier than garter. However, garter is much more squishy. And so if you want something soft and squishy for like baby or even yourself, garter stitch is the way to go. And that's just knitting every row. But if you're going to do stockinette, or what looks like just the knit stitches, you have to knit one row and purl the next row, and knit one row and purl the next row. See how it's bumpy when you do the garter stitch? Looks like it's changing color a little bit, don't it? Looks like it's getting a little more aqua. There's definitely more than one shade of blue in this. It almost looks like, what is the word? This is not coming to me at all. You know when the colors are not completely solid? Gradient, not gradient. Not gradient. Wow, why can I not think of the word? It's not variegated. It's not quite a solid color. I know that you guys are yelling at me. I can hear you yelling. I just my brain, my poor brain. So yeah, this yarn works up. It's split a little bit with knitting, like barely at all though. But I find I split yarn a lot with knitting, especially when my needles are sharp. All right, let's try the knit, or not knit. Yeah, let's try stockinette. Do a couple rows of stockinette. Of course, now I'm going to split it. Just because oh, dang it. And I split it. There's no sense splitting hairs. No, there's no sense splitting yarn either. Come on, get with it, Jen. I would hate to see what it looks like inside little man's head. Because if he's driving me nuts singing that song on repeat, it's got to be in his head on like 10 times repeat. So I hear it once and he hears it 50. And he doesn't even know all the words. He just knows in a minute. And then he kind of mumbles the rest of the words. Of course, he picked up the 3 shots in my cup. He knows those ones. Why do kids always pick up the bad lyrics? Like, they don't know anything else. they will for sure pick up the lyrics that you don't want a 7-year-old singing. Ouch, I just scratched my blister. I hope you guys are enjoying your knit and crochet day. I totally realized I'm twisting my pearls. Oh well, it don't matter. This is just a swatch. I always, people get frustrated when I say this, but please do not criticize my knitting skills. I will block you. I will delete you. I have had so many, and it's every single time I knit on camera. And unless I tell you not to do it, somebody is like, "You're doing that wrong. Why are you knit like that?" Mind your business. All right, so we did a little bit of knit stitch, or I keep calling it knit stitch. It's just knit stitch, okay? It's just knit stitch. I know that it's stockinette. My brain says knit stitch because I've been a crocheter way longer. And yes, I have Tunisian crocheted. I know how to Tunisian crochet. I get that question every time I knit too. Do you know how to Tunisian? Yes, I do. So I'm going to answer it before I get asked it. I do know how to Tunisian. Tunisian is a lot easier than knitting, I will say that, for the most part. Because it's just crochet. It's like crochet knitting. You work all the stitches on the hook and then you work them all off. Then you work them on and then you work them off. And you can do them in different ways so that it looks different. But it's It's no shade. It's crow knit. It's all the same. I'm totally splitting it now. I don't like knitting with this yarn. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not enjoying knitting it. I like crocheting it, not knitting it. Now, if you're a long-time knitter, you may like this yarn for knitting. That is perfectly okay. I'm not enjoying this. This is going to be my last row. Because I'm done. I'm so done. You guys can tell how slow I'm going that I'm not enjoying this. It's feeling a little bit fussy. A little bit splitty. And my hand is killing me. Because my hands hurt when I knit. They hurt so bad when I knit. All right, there's our sample. We're done. I'm done. I'm done. We're done. I don't like, like knitting it. Not that it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. So we have the stockinette garter crochet. I like it much better crochet. It feels squishier crochet. Well, the garter stitch feels nice. The knit stitch is just meh. It's just meh, but it's pretty. It's super pretty. So, I do recommend this for crochet. Like I said, if you like knitting it, oh, I should probably show you what it looks like frogged up. It frogs really easily. No problem. Easy peasy, rice and cheesy. So, there you go. There you have it. I'm going to wrap my little swatch up because it's easier to keep it as a swatch and just tuck it back in the hole. So let me know, have you used this yarn before? I'm going to say this because this yarn has quite frequently been compared color-wise to that other yarn that's on the market. It does not feel anything like that other yarn. It is much, much softer in my opinion. And I actually don't like that other yarn very often. I don't use it very often. So I'm going to say if you like these colorways, Premier is the way to go. Sweet Roll DK. Sweet Roll DK. Check it out. I will put my affiliate link below. You never have to use it, but it does help the channel. It helps me to continue to be able to do review videos and show you new yarns when they come on the market. Definitely like this yarn. It's soft, it's squishy, and the DK rolls or the sweet rolls are my absolute favorite yarns. So, all right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye, guys.